will be rolling into the area. In fact, we have now just tapped in to the first official severe thunderstorm warning. It's out in western Defiance County that has just been issued moments ago. So we really appreciate everybody that's joining us streaming live across all of our various platforms. If you're joining us on Facebook Live, feel free to go ahead and comment here. We've also been out there on YouTube Live. So we're connecting where you are and getting you the latest information on the storms.
That's right. So let's just dive into what we have going on so far. So if you're in western Defiance County, that's where we have our first warning. So I'm going to slide over there so we can get a better look. So again, Chris said this is our first warning that we have. To get a little more information on that, we're going to see that until about 2:15 this afternoon. So that's going to include a good chunk of Indiana. But again, if you're in western Defiance County, this is in one of those situations where you just need to head inside. You're going to want to seek shelter away from windows, doors, just because we can still see quite a bit of lightning. Some damaging winds are really going to be the threat with these storms. So that's our first warning.
That's the structure of these storms. It's really lining up in a linear fashion. So straight line winds, damaging wind gusts going to be expected to be one of the biggest threats that we have. And if you look at this one, many people are going to be asking, all right, is it going to storm in Defiance, Bryan, Montpelier, Stryker, Hillsdale? The good answer to this one is most likely the majority of our area is going to catch a pretty good round right on the chin of these strong to severe storms. Really a solid line that is loaded with thunder and lightning, loaded with torrential downpours, and the threat is going to be for some gusty winds coming. Some other reports out of this, and Diane, you could put this up here too, some of the local storm reports. Coming out of Indiana, you'll be able to see at least where we've reported some high wind gusts. And there's been numerous wind gusts that have been reported with these storms actively coming out of Indiana and sweeping into northwest Ohio. So who's on alert right now? Areas west of I-75 that are under the severe thunderstorm watch at this point. And it's going to be very shortly here. Through our 2 o'clock hour, we're going to be seeing numerous severe thunderstorm warnings that will likely be extended. Heads up into Hillsdale County, Williams, Defiance County. The next tier of counties will be Lenawee, Fulton, Henry County, and down into Putnam County. So those tiers of counties, those are the ones that we're giving you more of an immediate heads up of what the potential risk is.
Yes, if you're on the western side of northwest Ohio or even in southeast Michigan in Hillsdale or Lenawee counties, you are going to start to see these storms first. And you were even saying in Hillsdale County, they do have a warning there. I'll jump back to our watches and warnings once I can get to that. So you can just see that little bit of Hillsdale County, just that slither there on the western side of the county. We do have a warning there. So if you are joining us from that location in Hillsdale County, the western side, your warning is also going to go until 2:15. And that's also just another reminder for our warning that's in Defiance County. That is going to go until 2:15 as well. So if you're in locations like Farmer, Hicksville, Mark, those are popping up. Then even there along Route 2 and also 18, that's also going to be under that warning as well.
Yeah, so really at this point too, and if you take the sort of the north-south aspect of that, Route 127, west of Route 127 is where the more immediate threat is, but this will be spreading across the rest of our viewing area. As I expected, Diane, we're going to get comments here. We've got Matt Snow. Is Findlay going to get hit? Not imminent at this point, which means not in the next hour to 90 minutes. Findlay would be a little bit closer to probably 3 or 4 o'clock, somewhere in that time window, a good hour and a half to 2 hours possibly out, maybe say about an hour and a half, just to be on the safe side. A little convection or some storms popping up just in advance of the main line. That not severe at this point. Also got Elizabeth Brown coming in about Sandusky. You're far east of Toledo. Sandusky could be till maybe after 4:30 or 5 o'clock, or perhaps even later than that. So you're still several hours out in Sandusky. Kelly Stall in Bryan very soon. What are we thinking about Bryan? You've got some times pulled up here.
Right. So these storms are moving about 50 miles per hour towards the east. A little bit of that southeasterly turn, but mainly really driving in that easterly direction. So Bryan around 218, Wauseon 240, around the Toledo metro area 311. So shortly after that 3 o'clock hour, Findlay 330, and then towards Tiffin just ahead of 4 o'clock. So this takes us out through a good chunk of northwest Ohio. So this is still a couple hours.
It is, and a lot of people asking, well, how long are the storms going to be lasting? Because I've got a golf outing that's planned after work, a golf league, or I want to, drive home from work. And you said very accurately, Diane, today on the noon broadcast, I heard it myself, you said this may impact the evening commute.
Yes.
That's a good way to wrap your mind around it. So we're still talking several hours of this. Storms officially have yet to really arrive. We've just had an extension, Diane, of that severe thunderstorm warning, just as we expected we would. It now includes all of Williams County, more of Defiance County, parts of Henry County, all the way up to about Napoleon. So we're talking Napoleon to Ridgeville corners right there on Route 6, Bryan, Stryker, West Unity, Archbold, Sauter Village, you're included in that, Wauseon, Fayette, and back over toward Montpelier and Pioneer. Brand new severe thunderstorm warning. Diane, why don't you pop up some of the information on that? We'll get the time on this as well.
Yes, so this is going to continue on until 2:45. So now this new warning, again, for Williams into Fulton County, you are going to see that warning that's going to be here for an additional half hour. So that warning that was into Defiance, you can see now our warning times are becoming a little bit extended out into the future.
So here's what we're going to do, too. And again, thank you for joining us here on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, various streaming platforms. You may be seeing this a little bit later on Twitter as well. Various platforms we keep you connected on. So keep the comments coming. If you're on YouTube Live, go ahead and comment here as well. We're getting a lot of the comments and feedbacks here on Facebook Live. I do have to say, at 2:20 today,
yes,
there is going to be a national EAS, Emergency Alert System test, that is absolutely unrelated to our active severe weather situation. So I do understand this, that there's going to be a lot of confusion with this. I want to put you, just at ease that what you hear with that EAS test at 2:20, that is a national test. We have no control over that. We don't dictate the timing of that one, even though we're getting active severe weather that's rolling into our area.
Yes, that has been scheduled prior, and I'm sure you heard it on our earlier newscast when we were giving the heads up on that. So again, that's going to be here at 2:20, excuse me. So in about 15 minutes.
So let's time this out here. A lot of people asking, what is the time of arrival with these storms? And again, they're just getting ready to edge into the western part of our viewing area. Through about 3 o'clock, they're really going to begin to ramp up west of I-75. And Diane, you laid out some of those times, especially getting closer to our I-75 corridor, Findlay, Bowling Green through the Toledo Metro. This is certain to be after 3 o'clock, a little closer perhaps to about 3:30.
Yes.
Hitting through the area through 4 o'clock. So we've got several hours of some storms. And of course, we've got the full team that's assembled and ready to go. And maybe if you're not entirely familiar with First Alert Meteorologist Diane Phillips, you've been with us about a month now, Diane.
Yes, this is not my first round of severe weather. Chris, you always say that I brought severe weather with me, but maybe that's the case or not. But yep, we're going to be here, the full team, working on these storms tonight. And just so we don't forget, the biggest threats are going to be damaging winds. So you can see that we do have the wind threat, the heavy rain also. As far as hail, it's so warm and hot outside. I really think that any hail chances are going to melt before they even get to the
aloft in the atmosphere, there's a sub-freezing layer that is up there, but it's got to fall through a lot of warm air, essentially. So hail would be a minimal threat. Maybe nickel to penny-sized hail would, I'd imagine, would be the biggest threat. But, winds, and we'll say even in excess of 60 miles per hour, possibly up to 70 miles per hour due to some of the organization that we're seeing with this Boeing squall line. So that's what we're looking at here. Now, is what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to take the lightning off this one because lightning is going to be a really, really vivid feature on this, but it's a solid squall line. We call these MCSs. So they're mesoscale convective systems, and they're very large, all right? So this isn't going to be like a pop-up hit-or-miss chance of a shower or storm. It is going to be a solid line of storms that will bring strong to severe wind gusts. So I want you to do a favor for me. If you're on Facebook Live, go ahead, comment here, but also share this Facebook Live because it helps sort of get that message out. Knowing that the First Alert Weather team, Diane, Ryan, myself, are watching this situation very actively. So if you could do that, get your comments in. We're trying to answer as much of the questions as we can, but also go ahead and share this one. If you're on YouTube Live, any other streaming platforms, go ahead and give us a shout out as well. We'll try to get to as many of you as possible, but a very solid line of storms. And we are looking at some strong winds, Diane, that are coming out of the leading edge of this one. And a lot of the warnings that would indicate the potential of some wind gusts that could reach up to 60 or 70 miles per hour. So no doubt the, the velocity coming out of this is something that we look at and something we could kind of do a cool X-ray look into this.
Yes.
Explain, Diane, what we're looking at right here.
So this is our velocities, or we're actually measuring the winds. So where you see some of those brighter, vivid colors, that red color actually means that the winds are going away from the radar site. So we're actually pulling from the radar site in Fort Wayne here. So that's why those winds are going away. But where we have those vivid yellows, that's where we're seeing some of our strongest winds. And also you can see Chris kind of pointing out there with those arrows that line is just pushing ahead. So all of that wind is pushing out ahead, and that's going to have a pretty strong force, especially at the surface. So even this morning, we had down branches, saw leaves on the drive-in that were down as well. So that means that we're once again going to be keeping an eye on some trees and be down or watching out for down power lines, because we also had power outages this morning. So we don't want to start our day, and hopefully we don't have to end our day with power outages either.
So we've got 2 minutes left before we wrap this up, because we want to get back to analyzing some of these storms. You will also see Diane and myself on WTO 11. We'll likely be doing a cut-in shortly after that 2:20 EAS alert that you get. Again, a national test alert. Thank you.
Yes.
It is only a test at that point, but while that test is going on simultaneously, we are actually actively dealing with severe weather as well. So Diane, quick little recap of this. We have active severe weather alerts that are in place right now.
That's right. The yellow is what our active severe thunderstorm warnings are. Those are going to go until 2:15 for there in Defiance County. Further north, you can see Williams, Fulton counties are going to be around 2:45. Hillsdale County more than likely going to be around that 2:45 time frame. The pink coloring is the severe thunderstorm watch. That's going to go until 5 o'clock. So we'll be seeing that. The majority of us, though, have a chance for seeing those thunderstorms. So if you're not under a watch or a warning right now, make sure you have the First Alert Weather app. So then if you do have any watches or warnings, your phone can alert you, just like those emergency alerts. So you're just going to want to be weather aware this afternoon. Just keep an eye to the sky and the First Alert Weather app.
Yeah, multiple counties that are actually under the active severe weather alerts as those storms just edge toward the Indiana and Ohio state line. Biggest threat with this, Diane, you highlighted this, is going to be
the damaging winds. So if you have any loose objects outside, like that patio umbrella, patio chairs, if you are not under the warning now, take the time now to bring those inside. If you are under the warning, we're just going to have to let them sit out and hopefully survive some of the stronger winds.
Yeah, absolutely. Very possible now that we get this a little bit closer to the western edge of our viewing area that many areas in Williams and Defiance County, down into Paulding County, likely seeing the skies grow very, very dark at this point. It's not out of the question that a storm like this, with the energy and the storm energy and the release of those gusty winds, could be producing a pretty vivid shelf cloud out in advance of that. So you may see what is a very ominous, dark-looking cloud that's rolling towards you, sort of a line across the sky that actually looks like the shelf or a cliff. So perhaps if you're able to see that and safely snap a picture, of course we do not want you out in any storms. It usually forms well in advance of the storms. You feel free to send it to the First Alert Weather Team, and know that we are going to be here keeping an eye on the storm threats, the severe risk, which is very high across much of the area. Even the national experts at the Storm Prediction Center have elevated nearly our entire area up a category into the higher risk level, in an elevated risk level for the storm threat today. And it's because of this linear structure of this storm, bowing line segments that are likely to produce high wind damage.
That's right. And again, this line is moving to the east around 50 miles per hour. So we're going to continue to monitor this for the afternoon. Again, it's going to be about the next couple of hours that we do predict some of those arrival times. So just be prepared to see some of those stronger storms take their time, but still moving at a pretty good pace out ahead of that line.
All right, so we'll leave you guys for now, but appreciate you joining us here on any and all of our streaming platforms. If it's Facebook Live, YouTube Live, just know that we are keeping you prepared and safe ahead of these storms. As more of them, no doubt, will bubble up, you're going to be seeing us live on WTOL. We'll be live back on all of our streaming platforms, and of course, the First Alert Weather app, that free download that you can download right now if you haven't done so, to help keep you informed ahead of these storms. Be prepared to strong and severe storms rolling into the western edge of our viewing area. For now, though, we'll leave you be. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Chris Vickers and
Meteorologist Diane Phillips.
You guys have a safe afternoon. We'll be in touch very soon.